Hey there, Perk Church. I'm just going to use this opportunity to do a little bit of PerkStream off the cuff. I am standing in our basement, and as you can maybe imagine, given the 6 inches of rain we got yesterday, yeah, we had some flooding. But even though, as I pan around the room, you wouldn't necessarily see that because the water's already up, and not only that, but we only had about an inch maybe in the basement this time as opposed to last year's 6 inches. But if you're on Facebook or Twitter, you might have remembered that I made a point about about the lake that we have when we have this much water, that you know, if you see this much water in our yard, then our basement's not far behind. The water's really not the point. What is the point? The point is I'm really thankful for community. You know, community is what happens when people are involved in each other's lives, and not just on the times it's bad, but because of the relationships that we have formed that are really good. It was an easy call to people to say, could you help? And we got that help. We got it in a very quick amount of time. It makes me think about when I read Acts chapter 4, where it talks about all the believers held everything they had in common, and nobody lacked for anything. And if anybody did lack, somebody sold something and made sure that the need was made up. Okay, so nobody, at least I don't think anybody had to sell any property to help us get out of this particular jam, but some people gave their time. At least one person made a run to Ace. Actually, a second person made a run to Ace, and some of it panned out and some of it didn't. But in the end, everything is good in our basement. And it's because of community. It's because of these relationships. And what I want to have us think about is, how is community at Perk right now? I think we have some good community. I know some people who have stayed in touch with other people in the midst of this COVID situation, and that's been healthy. And other people have been willing to help out in really wonderful ways. It's been good to see. I'm just thankful for how God has been working in the lives of his people. And so here we are. We could just be a group of people who show up on Sunday morning, but no, we show signs of community. Now, what if we could multiply that? And by multiplying that, I mean we continue to build more community. Like maybe one way that we can do church, and one way that we have talked about as an elder team, is to say, let's build some circles of care. Let's make sure that people are seeing each other apart from Sunday morning, and let's make it intentional. So that's something that I believe you're going to be seeing here, and asking you to participate in. A circle of care, being intentionally involved in the life of other people, sometime other than Sunday morning, where when something like this happens in somebody's life, people can respond. But all the other times, it's just a matter of building those good, wonderful, loving, caring, challenging relationships. And why challenging? Because, you know, one of the things that I think when we say we have lack or we have need, sometimes it isn't a material thing. Sometimes it's relational. Sometimes our need is spiritual, and we need somebody to speak into our lives in such a way that it changes and shapes us internally. So, yeah, this is my reflection from the 2020. Yes, if anything else could happen, it did, but not as bad as 2019. So that's an improvement. But knowing that as I look at the flood in my yard, and I look at the cleaned up basement, I think, wow, in the midst of this rain, in the midst of what could have been a real big mess just like last year, I experienced community. And I hope that we will consider ways of doing that intentionally. I hope that we would do that in some ways that are spontaneous and not waiting for somebody else to program it, if you will. But I also hope that maybe as you're thinking about it, and as I've just put this bug in your ear, I'm hoping that maybe you'll also come up with ways that we haven't thought of, that we can be community, that we can not just meet needs that are tangible, but we begin to meet needs that show that we're interested in the lives of other people. Now, one thing is that when it comes to community, all of Perk probably will not be community to all of Perk. You know, there's 200 people that are actively involved in worship at Perk. Don't always see them all at the same time, but I know who all 200 people are, and those 200 people, yeah, that'd be too big to be a small group. What I'm hoping is that it won't be a place, Perk won't be a place where you know everybody. That'd be nice. But I do hope that Perk is a place where you are known. Well, that's nicer, because you can know the other 199 people who show up for worship, and you know what that would mean? That it's 199 relationships to maintain. But maybe 10 to 12, that's a little more manageable, and that's also a chance for you to go deeper with some people, deeper in terms of being able to relate to one another, to laugh together, to cry together, to care together, to study together, to serve together, all the different ways that a circle of care can work to help and build up each other in life. All right, well, this is Lessons from the Lake that is our yard. And I hope that as you're looking at that, and as you see that actually spurs you on to think about community. So as the lake was formed, that meant the basement wasn't far behind, but thanks to a community I belong to, that Cheryl and I enjoy, we got the help that we needed when we needed it. And that's what community does. God bless you. Have a great day, and stay tuned for some other notes on what's going to happen in the life of the church.